So much controversy because of its location a few blocks from Ground Zero. Now, both Governor David Paterson and Archbishop Timothy Dolan have discussed an alternate site because of the tension.
Emotions boiled over yesterday in Lower Manhattan as protesters on both sides of the issue held separate rallies near the proposed site.
Can you hear me, Obama? This is Andy from Brooklyn. Forget about it.
What better way to bring peace to this country and to this neighborhood than to be able to bridge the schism between people? The Muslims who are here did not attack us on 9/11.
Daisy Khan, the wife of the Imam Faisal Abdul Rauf, declined to comment today on whether the center's organizers would consider moving to another location.
Now, earlier tonight, I spoke with two people who have very strong feelings about the plans. Akeel Hanano of the American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee, and Crystal Beale, whose husband John rejoined the Army after 9/11 and was killed last year in Afghanistan. Ms. Beale, you've said that you don't want the mosque so close to Ground Zero. Why not?
I feel that it's basically an insult to the American people whose lives were lost on September the 11th of 2001. There were, 3,000 people who died that day, and to me that's sacred ground.
Well, Mr. Hanano, what do you say? I mean, it's so close to Ground Zero that the landing gear of one of the planes fell on that very building.
Well, first of all, it's not a mosque. It's a community center, and it has a worship place in it. Exactly the same thing the Pentagon has. And those people who are building that community center are an American citizen and had nothing to do with 9/11. The religious.
Do you understand why people are so sensitive about being so close to Ground Zero?
I do understand, but at the same time we have to think about the casualty of 9/11. 400 of those dead people were Muslim American also. So we share the same pain. We are from the same community. When the Al-Qaeda attacked us, they attacked one nation. Unfortunately, something happened and we are dividing ourselves by going after each other.
The Imam says he's trying to foster religious tolerance and religious understanding, but it looks like that's not happening at the moment. Wouldn't you concede that?
It's not happening because I think it's midterm election and it's been used for the election, and I guarantee you like 2 months from now it's not going to be an issue anymore.
I disagree with that.
Where would you like to see the mosque go, Ms. Beale?
Anywhere but that in New York City, in that area. But you don't see us going into a Muslim nation and putting up a Christian cross or a Virgin Mary.
People are very upset about this, obviously. What would be wrong about moving it a few blocks away so that you are attending to people's sensitivity?
Well, let me tell you something. This place has been in existence for the last 2 years. This is not a new thing just happened a couple of weeks ago. That place has been bought 2 years ago as an expansion for an existing mosque 4 blocks away from Ground Zero. If we are just because Al-Qaeda attacked the Twin Tower so close to that place, we cannot build any mosque or religious institution. It's like you telling me we cannot erect a cross because the Ku Klux Klan burned it every time they did some heinous crime. This is.
But I can tell you right now that if I was to go to Afghanistan or to any of the Muslim-based countries, Arab countries, that first of all, I wouldn't be, even respected because of my Christian beliefs. Secondly, that if I was to go in there and try to even think of resurrecting a cross or anything near your mosques or any of that area, I would be shot and killed.
Ma'am, with due respect to you, we have a huge Christian community in the Arab world and the Middle East, but we're not talking about the Middle East or the Arab world.
I understand.
Let's talk about it for just a second, Mr. Hanano, because do you understand why it grates on some Americans that Christians and Jews can't even visit Mecca and Medina, let alone go there and build houses of worship?
Well, it's the same thing applies in the Vatican. You will never be able to build a synagogue or a mosque in the Vatican. Plus, I'm not comparing myself or my country to Saudi Arabia. This is
fair
completely...
enough. Pope John Paul II moved a Carmelite convent from near Auschwitz because of Jewish sensitivities, not because the Carmelite nuns had anything to do with the Holocaust.
Well, I understand that. At the same time, if you look at the suggested Islamic Community Center in Lower Manhattan, on the advisory board is Rabbi Levitt, who also is the president of the Jewish Community Center in Lower Manhattan.
To me, as a Christian and as a American who my husband died in combat protecting this, our freedoms of rights and religion, so that we can sit here and have this today. I don't understand. To me, it's just still a slap in the face. What are we doing? And
we are exercising our right, our First Amendment right. This is not
an American in the United States of America.
Exactly.
In your country, we have not been able to do this.
Well,
if we were to go to your country and do this, we would be shot and murdered.
Now, Mr. Hanano, the President has stood up for the right of the people to build a Muslim mosque there in Lower Manhattan, but he wouldn't comment on the wisdom of it. Is there room for compromise?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, two wise people always could find a compromise. But you ask me about my personal opinion? No, I would not move it.
Ms. Beale, if they moved it a few blocks away, would you be satisfied?
Maybe. The date of the dedication of it, to me, that's a date of our sorrow, and that ground is sacred to us, where, the deaths of thousands of people, and this is the whole reason why my husband rejoined the military.
Well, this debate shows no sign of losing intensity. Crystal Beale and Akeel Hanano, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Now, in a recent Rasmussen Reports poll, most people opposed the building of a mosque near Ground Zero, 54% in fact, while 20% said they were in favor of it and 26% weren't sure. We invite you to weigh in on this issue yourself in our poll on myfoxatlanta.com. Now, tomorrow's meeting between the governor and the Archbishop will be closed to the media, and leaders of the Islamic Center say they probably won't be commenting again until early September.